Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends, in this video we'll be covering Aesoth, the Vexilus Praetor, one of the first 3 characters available for the Adeptus Custodes. Before we get into things, one thing to point out which I really hope Snowprint continue is that you'll get the chance to play with this character during the upcoming survival event. That's thanks to the new unique power-ups which gives players a chance to test the character before deciding if he's someone worth investing in. Aesoth is an uncommon unlock through the 2-week hero release event. He has this massive shield that he punches out with, and as usual, Snowprint's art team have done a great job. He has 3 traits. Martial Kata is the Custodes faction trait, which reduces damage from normal attacks. He also has Big Target and Resilient. The stats on screen are at Diamond 3, and we'll compare those to other characters later. Aesoth has a base movement speed of 3 and a 1-hit physical attack. As a Custodes, Aesoth can only equip the ceremonial knife. His active ability, Vexilla Magnifica, deals physical damage to 2 adjacent enemies and applies stun. After using it, Aesoth gains damage reduction for 2 rounds. This ability has a 2-turn cooldown and can be reused multiple times over a battle. His passive ability is called Stand Vigil. This gives adjacent allies bonus fixed armor and a percentage damage increase to their non-normal attacks. Additionally, if a Custodes ally also uses an active ability that turn, Stand Vigil's damage reduction effect applies to friendly units within 2 hexes. It's worth noting that this passive doesn't apply to the character himself. The abilities are simple enough, but let's look at gameplay clips before diving into the numbers. In the first clip, we can see Aesoth using his active against Calgar, and Bellator is also affected. Both receive the stunned debuff, which reduces movement and damage and prevents them from using active abilities. Just a reminder, the stunned debuff can be removed by healing the character. The passive Stand Vigil gives adjacent characters bonus armor and increased damage with their non-normal attacks. Here, Aesoth moves away and we can see the red gobble briefly lose his debuff. Once Aesoth uses his active, the passive range extends to 2 hexes and the red gobble regains this benefit. Let's briefly talk about some nuances in Aesoth's kit. Modifiers like damage reduction from Aesoth's active are multiplicative, not additive. We can use Thoriad as an example. Aesoth's active at max settings reduces incoming damage by 66%. Thoriad's Unbreakable Duty reduces incoming damage by 33%. When stacked, these reductions are multiplied, not added, so the total reduction isn't 99 but about 77.2%. It doesn't matter what order you apply them, multiplicative stacking always works out the same. You can see the worked example here on screen that illustrates that point. The same concept applies offensively, so if you combine High Ground with Aesoth's ability, 50% plus 25% bonus damage, the total damage is increased by 1.5 times 1.25, effectively increasing damage by 187.5%. That leads into how and where Aesoth might be used. Being able to stun 2 units is strong, and his defensive stats are excellent. You can send him in against Overwatch heavy enemies, let him tank the hits, stun them, and then let your squishier units group next to him to benefit from Stand Vigil's armor and damage buff. In this clip, we can see the usual AI footage to observe how the character behaves on defense. Aesoth uses his active ability fairly liberally, and I think he'll be a solid choice for war defense or arena, especially in Custodes heavy lineups. We've covered the kit and gameplay, so here is my usual summary slide which showcases his stats and ability progression at various breakpoints. Feel free to pause or screenshot if you need. Here is my usual infographic style summary. The stats on the right are at Diamond 3. Thanks again to Towan for comparing Aesoth to other characters. His health and armor stats are excellent, around the 90th percentile for health and 96th percentile for armor. That's before you factor in Martial Kata, which makes this character even harder to kill. In fact, when you add that in, he might actually be the tankiest character in the game. His damage is poor, but that's fine. He's a tank, so we'll forgive him. Next up, we can take a look at where Aesoth might be good. In Horde mode, Aesoth is very tanky but doesn't bring much else that benefits the mode. He can provide some armor to nearby enemies, but generally clumping your units together is punished in PvE. He has the physical damage trait and the one-hit trait, both of which are desirable, but I think there are better options to level first. Here I've given him a 2. War is where Aesoth shines. He's extremely hard to kill even before his 66% damage reduction kicks in. Being able to stun 2 enemies every 3 turns can swing fights very easily, and on defense with Medicae support, he becomes incredibly difficult to kill. Here he has a 4.5. Finally, raids. Sadly, Aesoth isn't a raid character, and that's totally fine. 1 physical hit just doesn't do enough, and I've given him a 1 out of 5. I'll wrap the video up with a quick slide on potential friends and allies for Aesoth. We already know that the Custodes work well with each other, with kits that incentivize the use of multiple active abilities. For Aesoth, I could also see him in a team with Dark Angel's characters that have good ranged non-normal attacks. Sarquael and Barakiel jump out to me as good options to stand behind or next to him to take advantage of the bonus damage from his passive. He will also turtle incredibly well with healers, being hard to kill himself and then providing allies with bonus armor while they are next to him. The longer Aesoth is alive, the more active abilities he can dish out. His big target trait also makes him a good protector. That's it, another character showcase wrapped up. A huge thanks to my Patreons for their support, and bye for now.